Stevie Daniels. The time now is 4:30 on this Friday morning. Let's take a look at your full forecast because we do have some big changes on the horizon, not only with the conditions, but also with our temperatures. They're going to really crash as we head into the weekend. But this morning, we're starting off relatively mild and dry with temperatures right now in the 50s and 60s, 55 degrees in Bel Air. Centerville, good morning to all of you sitting at 58 and 60 is the current temperature for my friends down in Annapolis. So today we are going to be warming back up well into the 70s. There could be some areas west of the Chesapeake Bay that actually graze that 80-degree mark once again. Yesterday, we had a high of 83 degrees at the airport. Today, we'll feel a little bit cooler than yesterday. We do have that northerly wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. But look at this icon. I had to put the rain and storm icon on the planner. Starting around 2 to 3 o'clock, we will start to see some showers and storms slide in, all because of this area of low pressure that's centered right to the north of Milwaukee. And you can see quite the lightning show, the rain and storm activity out by St. Louis. So the first half of your Friday is looking to be relatively dry, but then things start to change as we head into the afternoon. Right around 2 to 3 o'clock, we'll start to see some isolated showers and thunderstorms work in and through the area. They will start to build in from west to east, especially across central Maryland. This is going to persist throughout about 7 to 8 o'clock in the evening. So this is really the time frame when you actually need to be weather aware. The severe weather potential for today is looking to be rather low, which is good. But then as we head into the start of the weekend, that's when we're going to start to actually deal with some of that rain pushing back through. As we take a look at futurecasts, right around 1 to 2 o'clock tomorrow, we are going to be dealing with rain pushing in, all thanks to that area of low pressure that's going to be filing through the region. And then right around 6 o'clock, we do have some moderate to heavy downpours at times, but then Sunday afternoon, that's when things really start to dry out. As we take a look at your Sunday, this is a look at rainfall totals. About a ½ inch to an inch of rain. That's what we can expect when things are all said and done. And this is actually going to help alleviate drought concerns. Daniels, the time now is 4:45 on this Friday morning. Let's take a glance at your super 7-day forecast because today we have some changes. We start off dry. We're starting off relatively mild in the 50s and 60s, but I would suggest grabbing the rain gear for the kids. Have them bring it with them to school this morning because for the ride home, as the bus drops the kids off, we could see some spotty showers, even some isolated thunderstorms develop between the hours of 2 and 8 o'clock this evening. The severe weather potential is looking to be low, but some brief downpours are not out of the question. As we take a glance at your Saturday, that's when our temps really start to crash. So we're only expected to climb into the low 60s tomorrow afternoon. So temps don't really move much, and there could be some not only scattered rain showers, but also some embedded rumbles of thunder that drift through the area during the day. Some of that spotty showery activity lingers into your Sunday morning. So if you're heading out to Sunday service early in the morning, have that umbrella ready to go. But the bulk of the afternoon looks relatively dry. Winds both days are going to be breezy with wind gusts anywhere from 25 to 30 miles per hour out of an easterly direction. So that's going to help keep us below average. We climb back. Stevie Daniels, the time now is 5 o'clock on this Friday morning. Let's take a glance at your temps outside because we are starting off relatively mild and also dry. Waking up to a few clouds out there though. Seeing a few more clouds across the western half of the viewing area, which is the reason why places like Thurmont and also Olney are starting off a little bit milder than our eastern friends. So right around Chestertown and Centerville, sitting in the mid 50s for you all, 54 degrees for everyone in Aberdeen, 61 downtown. The coffee cast, you could go with the warm or the iced cup of coffee this morning. Temps should quickly rise into the mid 60s by 9 o'clock. We are going to be dry throughout the morning, but I would tell the kids to grab the rain gear before they head out the door because they'll likely need it for the ride home from school today as the bus drops them off. We do have the threat for some showers, even some isolated thunderstorms that will start to travel through between the hours of 2 and 8 o'clock. And from the Midwest, really praying for our friends further west of us this morning as they will likely be dealing with a lot of cleanup throughout the day today. We do have the threat for some showers, even some isolated thunderstorms across the region this afternoon and also into the evening. But this morning we are going to start off dry and we're feeling that that drier air work into the region this morning. Temps right now are actually hanging out in the 50s and 60s. They'll likely stay that way as the kids head out to school this morning. Here's a glance at your bus stop forecast. I am tracking a mix of sun and clouds as we begin your Friday. We made it to the end of the week, but tell the kids to bring the rain gear with them to school this morning, because look at this, they'll likely need the rain jacket on as they head home from school as they get dropped off. Right around 2 to 3 o'clock, we have the threat for some showers, even some isolated storms that will start to slide in and through the area. And this is going to extend even into around 7 to 8 o'clock, right before sunset. After the sun sets, we lose a lot of that heating. Therefore, the thunderstorm potential really starts to wane. But we do have the warmth working in our favor to help fuel some of those storms. So for the most part, high temperatures today are going to be hovering in the mid to upper 70s this afternoon. As we take a look at futurecasts, here's a look at some of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms that are likely going to form right around Frederick and Hagerstown closer to 1 to 2 o'clock. And then the threat for the chance for some isolated thunderstorms persists throughout the 8 o'clock hour. After the sun sets, we'll just be dealing with some spotty showers lingering into the overnight. And we have that front that's going to sweep through the mid-Atlantic region getting into the weekend. This is going to promote widely scattered rain showers across the area throughout your Saturday afternoon into your Saturday evening. So if you did have any outdoor plans over the weekend, I would rethink them. But it looks like we're actually going to salvage Sunday. A few showers could pop up in the morning if you're heading out to Sunday service early on, but then look at the second half of Sunday, a little bit drier. So in my opinion, Sunday is going to be the weekend winner. But this is going to bring us some beneficial rain because the drought concern is getting even worse. The severe drought conditions are actually extended and expanded across much of central Maryland. But average rainfall throughout the weekend, about a ½ inch to an inch when it's all said and done. Here's a glance at your stuff up and down the eastern shore, where we do see some spots actually starting the day off in the low 50s. And of course, one of those locations is Haverty Grace, a typical spot that starts off a little bit cooler because of the water. So you might want that jacket this morning before you leave the house. But I would grab a jacket with a hood before you leave the house this morning, because you'll likely need it this afternoon. The kids will as well, but we stay dry throughout the morning hours. Temperature should be right around 64 degrees by 9 o'clock. When we head into the afternoon, that's when things get interesting. Around 2 to 3 o'clock today, we do have some showers and storms that will start to file through. The severe weather potential today looking to be rather low, but that chance persists throughout about 7 to 8 o'clock this evening. We do rise well into the 70s today with some sunny breaks. I'll have more details on this and lay out everything you need to know coming up in my full forecast. Back to you. All right, Stevie Daniels. The time now is 5:44 on this Friday morning, TGIF. We made it to the end of the week and we are starting off dry and mild. Look at our temps. We're beginning the day with numbers in the 50s and 60s. A little bit warmer in certain areas compared to the last 24 hours, like Bowie and also Annapolis, holding strong to the lower 60s this morning, mid to upper 50s the farther north you head. So while we are dry this morning, that doesn't mean that you can put your guard down or let it down. We do have rain and even some thunderstorms on the horizon as we head into the afternoon. They likely hold off until about 2 to 3 o'clock today as the kids get dropped off from school. That shouldn't stop our numbers from rising above average. Most of us are going to be hitting highs in the mid to upper 70s today. Right around 2 to 3 o'clock, we'll start to notice some of those showers and even some thunderstorms bubbling up across Frederick County, even down towards Virginia. They become a little bit more scattered in nature. This is what it's looking like around 4 to 5 o'clock this evening as you're heading home from work, or if you're picking the kids up from maybe some after-school activities today. There will be some showers, even some rumbles of thunder sliding through that you definitely will hear. The threat for thunderstorms actually closes around the 8 o'clock hour. So after the sun sets, we lose a lot of that heating. Therefore, we lose a lot of that fuel to help really fire up these thunderstorms. But we persist into the overnight, lingering into your Saturday morning, because the core of this system that's going to bring us some isolated showers and storms today, that's going to travel through the region throughout the day tomorrow. So it's looking pretty soggy out there throughout the second half of your Saturday. We could be waking up to some sprinkles out there in the morning, but the bulk of the rain holds off until the afternoon and evening, when the coverage looks a little bit greater up and down the eastern shore and all of Delmarva as well. The area of low pressure tracks to the southeast. We could wake up to a few light showers out there early Sunday before we have a drier setup as we head into the afternoon, with winds shifting out of the northeast. But all across the majority of Baltimore County, even around northeast Maryland, the Baltimore Metro, Columbia, and also Annapolis and Stevensville, suffering from severe drought concerns. So we'll likely get in about a ½ inch to an inch of rain rain this week. Body showers grazing the skies right around the Inner Harbor and closer to Camden Yards. So I would bring the rain jacket with you to the ballpark as you cheer on the O's. But this morning, we're starting off in the 50s and 60s, and that's pretty much where we're going to stay as we head into the next few hours, keeping skies partly cloudy as well. But then as we head into the afternoon, we'll start to see some of these isolated showers and storms bubble up closer to 2 o'clock. And this is very beneficial. We do need the rain. I know it could dampen some outdoor plans, especially over the weekend, but we will be getting a good dose of some beneficial rain to hopefully alleviate drought concerns. This is a look at the latest drought monitor map. We've only seen about an inch of rain so far this month since April 1st, and since March 1st, we've only picked up about 3 inches. So severe drought concerns have now expanded all into the majority of Baltimore County, Hartford County, even Cecil County, and this is also impacting the eastern shore as well, looking abnormally dry across the state of Delaware. Christy?
Good morning, Steve.
Oklahoma, portions of Texas, and even across the upper Midwest. You can see this cold front is draped right across Arkansas and even closer to Missouri. You can see quite the lightning show. All this thunderstorm activity is now tracking to the southeast, heading into St. Louis this morning. That's the same storm system that's going to impact us over the weekend. However, the impacts compared to what they're dealing with farther out west, it's not going to be nearly what they're dealing with. I mean, we are talking about some scattered showers, perhaps a rumble of thunder tomorrow, but the big story is going to be the major cool down and also the beneficial rain that we do desperately need. This morning, we're starting off dry, looking at a beautiful sunrise over Westminster in Carroll County. McDaniel College looking beautiful out there right now. We are starting off with a temperature of 57 degrees in Westminster, 54 in Cockeysville, 55 in Centerville this morning, and Bowie, you guys currently sit at 60 degrees. Most of us should be hovering in the mid 60s by 9 o'clock and then rising back into the mid 70s, mid to upper 70s, I should say, later today. Closer to 1 o'clock this afternoon, we should be flirting with the 75 degrees and then dealing with dry air until we head closer to 2 to 3 o'clock today. That's when we welcome back the threat for some showers, even some thunderstorms. Between the hours of 2 and 8 o'clock, you just need to be on guard. The threat for severe weather today is looking to be rather low, but we could experience some brief periods of heavy rain. I wouldn't even be surprised because we hear some rumbles of thunder. We also see some lightning strikes. So here's a look at this activity. This is going to skirt through the region, likely impacting the Baltimore Metro closer to the time of first pitch as the O's take on the Red Sox. First pitch is at 7:05. We're still going to be dealing with some spotty showers throughout the 7th inning stretch and even beyond that. But the thunderstorm potential starts to wane by 8 o'clock as the sun sets. Here's a look at that storm system that's right now impacting portions of the Midwest this morning. It is going to swing across the mid-Atlantic region, sparking widely scattered showers, even some brief periods of heavy rain heading into the second half of your Saturday. So if you have any outdoor plans, I would think about moving them indoors. Some of these showers could spill over into early Sunday before we really wrap things up and dry things out. We have a drier setup for the second half of your Sunday, so it looks like we're going to salvage the second half of the weekend. About a ½ inch to an inch of rain, that's what we can expect throughout the entire weekend, which is largely going to be beneficial as severe drought concerns continue to plague a good chunk of central Maryland. Hopefully, we're pretty much through the thunderstorm activity as the game begins at 7:05. But here's a glance at your school day planner. We do have temps that are going to rise well into the 70s, just like they did yesterday. We will be a few degrees cooler because we do have some showers that will start to slide in as the kids head home from school. So they might want to bring the rain jacket with them to school this morning because they'll likely need it as the bus drops them off. Rising back into the low 60s. That's going to be your high temperature, 62 degrees for your Saturday. Dealing with a lot of that rain-cooled air. We have more clouds to deal with tomorrow and mostly dealing with some scattered rain showers during the late parts of the morning. That's also going to extend into the entire afternoon and evening. So Saturday is looking a little bit soggy. Some of those showers could spill over into early Sunday morning before we dry things out during the afternoon. Winds both days are going to be relatively breezy with gusts around 25 to 30 miles per hour, keeping that wind flow coming in offshore. So that is going to keep a lot of those clouds around throughout the weekend. Not really the best weekend to get outside. Daniels, the time now is 6:47, 6:48 now. on this Friday morning. We're taking a live look outside of our TV station here in Towson, waking up to seeing some of that golden glow off in the distance. I love seeing the trees, this bright green color that shows you that summer is on the horizon. We just have to wait until late June. But as we take a glance at your temps right now, we are starting off relatively mild and also dry, of course, but things are going to start to change as we head into the afternoon. We'll start to notice more clouds drifting in, and then we will be dealing with those showers and thunderstorms. But we're sitting in the 50s and 60s out there. I would go with the light jacket, especially if you live across our northeastern suburbs like places in Cecil County and Harford County, waking up in the low 50s. Here's a glance at where temperatures will be closer to the Baltimore area as the kids head home from school. 76 degrees. We'll be making our way up well into the 70s today. I suggest that the kids grab the umbrella or the rain jacket, have them bring it to school with them this morning because they'll likely need it for the bus ride home as they get dropped off. We'll start to notice some showers, even some isolated storms filing through our western communities first. And then a lot of this activity advances south and east. The coverage of this looks a little bit greater closer to dinner time, unfortunately, right around the time of first pitch as the O's take on the Red Sox. Dealing with the chance for not only periods of heavy rain, but also a few lightning strikes could accompany some of that thunder as well. And then into the overnight, some spotty showers linger into your Saturday morning. The time frame for isolated storms looks to be between 2 and 8 o'clock. After 8 o'clock, once the sun sets, we lose a lot of that heating. Therefore, we lose a lot of that fuel to help fire up these thunderstorms. The core of this system, the core of this energy from the system is actually going to swing through the area tomorrow, keeping skies overcast. We have scattered showers right around the middle part of the day. The coverage increases during the afternoon and evening. If you have any outdoor plans tomorrow, I would move them inside. A few spotty showers could linger into your Sunday morning, so just be prepared for this if you're heading out to Sunday service in the morning, but we have a drier setup as that area of low pressure pulls away during the afternoon. About a ½ inch to an inch of rain, that's what we can expect throughout the weekend. This is going to be beneficial. Unfortunately, it looks like drought conditions are continuing to worsen according to the latest drought monitor map that was updated yesterday. Now much of central Maryland is under severe drought. We are going to have our temps